everyone. For this video, before I get into today's content, I just need to correct myself. In the Do Not F With My Viewers video, I talked about when did AMC cover this round. I think I didn't really get the date on the exact date. Technically, it's on this day. I think I was reading out the date. I wasn't lining up to the bottom of the day. So technically, they covered let's see, what day is that? So that would be Wednesday on that week. So they actually covered on June 30th instead of covering on July 1st. And then I'm pretty sure this is a end of the month move anyways. And for those of you who are interested, probably should go do a T+21 chart, which actually lies on that chart. But this day is actually when they covered instead of the day after. I think in that video, I either talked about this day or that day. I'm pretty sure it's the day before, so it's June 30th instead of July 1st. And I suspect that iceberg actually started shorting not beginning on July 2nd, but they probably started from July 1st. So previously we talked about they already gained about 22 million up to like 50 million at this point, but due to this new information, due to some new information that I just discovered overnight and and from a phone call I had about 25 minutes ago, I realized they probably already made over 60 million by now. If they started shorting July 2nd instead of July. Oh my god. Sorry guys. Still have a bunch of mucus in my lung. Still a little bit sick. So yeah. So this is for AMC. And for those of you who are just start bashing my position on, I know a lot of you are deleting your comments on my AMC videos. I'm trying to scroll back and just find them. I was like, where are all the haters, right? You guys start deleting all your things because I've been right like this. But honestly, don't really worry. It seems like there's a $30 price floor there. I should stop saying price floor because every time I say a price floor, the stock always go down there. But what I really want to talk about in this short video is, I plan to make it short, is the CEO Aron. Yeah, Aron basically rejected the issuing more shares sort of proposal due to 80% of retail owning the flow. This is actually pretty bad if you think about it. A lot of the streamers are just saying, or YouTubers are saying, oh my god, like this is the great news that our shares won't get diluted. But at the same time, even though your shares won't get diluted, that means your liquidity is taking a hit. Because think about it, if retail owns 80% of the flow, there's only 20% of the other thing left, right? Like let's just say the CEO owns, I should probably go do some research on how much the CEO owns. Let's just say the CEO owns typically 10%, right? Any director level would probably own 10%. So there's only 10% institutional money plus some random people who came in and start shorting here, right? The thing is, without it issuing more shares, literally means the base value, the base book value of AMC is still still the same, right? Because if you look at their revenue stream and everything, it's literally, I haven't got to the point as a similar thing as 2020 before the pandemic, right? So right now, what is really holding up the price, or is really being an anchor of holding up this price, sort of serve as a antidepressant or serve as an anti-panic, is the fact that they raised a couple $1 billion earlier in this year, right? But right now, if they don't continue issue stock, that means AMC as a company can really benefit from the increase of stock prices. I mean, shorties or hedges aside, as a sort of like a CEO, you kind of trying to convince your board to raise more capital, because as we know, the movie business itself is really dying. Like without any significant innovation, or AMC theaters without any like really good renovation or changing of a business model, the margins are all in concessions, right? And the thing is, right now the concessions aren't selling that great. Why? Because of COVID, right? People are still wearing masks in the movie theaters. Even though right now we don't really have a mandate, but people still do that. And what makes it sucks is when you're wearing a mask, how are you gonna eat in the movie theater, right? So then without issuing more shares, that means there's no increasing book value. And a lot of people are value investors. They look at the book value of AMC and say, hey, even though with 80% of retail controlling the flow, and guess what? In this kind of business, retail is the most untrustworthy group of investors in this entire world. Why? Because A, retail chases, and B, retail is the first one to panic. Oh well. You're gonna ask, Didi, what is the point that you said all of these? Well, basically, by not letting Aron, by not letting Aron, the CEO of AMC, to split or to issue more AMC stock, the 80% retail flow is going to stifle the medium term or maybe long term, but short term for sure, the short term and medium term liquidity potential for AMC itself. The logic is like this: if you do a split right now, the price is gonna be like, let's just do a 1-to-2 split, right? To a 1-to-2 split, your monetary value of your shares and your share price is not really gonna change, but the share price is gonna go down to about $17 or $18, which is a very great spot. At that point, there are going to be more and more retail players coming in because they think $20 is a fair price to buy in. And even though your stock price got diluted, it's really worth it to have the dilution. So then basically you're expanding your ape community. But by not having that kind of liquidation or that kind of flexibility in terms of dilution, it's essentially you are trading dilution for flexibility and for new people's money coming in. Okay, otherwise the shorts are not going to let you get up to $60 because you don't have any fresh liquidity or fresh cash flows anymore. There's not going to be another stimulus check, right? And even though the tapering talk ended, but it doesn't mean that people is going to use their unemployment check and pump it all into stocks. And as the whole unemployment cycle reaches to an end, with all the labor market is actually going to tighten up in the next 2 quarters of the year, things is not going to go as you planned. So just again, we're not financial advisors. We don't give financial advices. But for those of you who are strong believers in the ape community, maybe sometimes you gotta be a little bit more rational than being sort of hype motivated. AMC could trade flat for a little bit more, but if there's no like liquidity trigger or there's no volume increase trigger in terms of buying in, the shorts are happy because in an unstable economic environment, they will win at the end. Because we all know that just looming in the end, there's going to be a sort of big crash on the NASDAQ, right? And we're just waiting for that trigger, literally. There are so many triggers I can talk about, but for right now, it's still too early to discuss. So if you want to park your money there, be my guest. But again, there are the easiest way to create, exterior liquidity into the stock is by, raising more money. Because by raising more money, by issuing more share, AMC's book value will increase. Even though it will dilute all of the value of the stock in hand, but in the long run, it's a good thing. As long as you guys trust the CEO, you think he's gonna use those money on either doing some good organic growth or doing inorganic growth by vertically or horizontally integration, right? You can consolidate and buy some asset. That's also a great idea. As long as he doesn't buy the house or any real estate property right before the market crash, then everything will be fine. But at this point, it's sort of like a double-edged sword. And if you just read everything at their face value financially, a lot of time you don't see sort of like a long-term trajectory. You don't see what is behind that. You don't see the pros of the cons. You don't see the future pro if you just take a hit in the near short term. Okay. I mean, again, this is it for the video. If you love this video, please smash that like button. And I know some of you probably won't understand what I'm trying to talk about, but in short, it's a double-edged sword. And at this point, it's purely our personal opinion, by letting Aron do the split or doing an issuance of stocks literally will help the retail investors, rather than right now it's actually a bunch of like happy fish inside of a pond, and the pond doesn't have like real other live stream of water coming in, and eventually all the retail is going to be stifled up in the dead pond, and all of the profits going to be lost. But that would be super pessimistic. I gotta be positive at that point, huh? Because everybody is saying I got paid by the Bears. I guess, Bears, if you guys want to pay me, maybe you should. But I'm just trying to be honest here, okay? Smash that like button. Let us beat the YouTube algorithm. More and more people will hear this honest content. Because nobody want to either play the devil's advocate or just stand up to the big streamers or YouTubers and telling them that, hey, here are some alternative opinions here. Like, sometimes do not disinform your viewers, and sometimes maybe think a little bit deeper, okay? I think this is it. Have a great night.